Man, what a ride this human condition is, this human life. Like, what a ride with the highs and the lows and the dark and the light and the masculine and the feminine. Like, such an incredible experience this is, you know? I just wanted to say thank you so much for the wave of support and love and the calls and the texts when I had posted a vulnerable post about being triggered around my dad's death and passing in conjunction with the shift in relationship dynamic. And then an airline snafu, you guys. Holy cow, right now with the airlines. Bring your patience. I just got back yesterday from Arizona, and it was like MMA out there, I swear to God, and the airport's just nuts. But I made it back safely and grateful for that. But definitely there's a lot of triggers happening, and I just wanted to say thank you again for the support that you guys shared with me. To me, it's important to be authentic, you know, like we live in this kind of fake world, superficial and shallow and materialistic and greedy, and everybody's putting on their Instagram face with their filters and like shrinking their waist and making their hips all. And I think at least I resonate more fully with authentic. I resonate more fully with real. And to me, real is the willingness to be vulnerable. Real is the willingness to not know, to surrender control. Real it's the full spectrum. It's all of those other things, because the experience that those people are having with the filters and the thises and that, so it's a very real experience for them. And I'm talking like soul. I think we are being invited into a level of consciousness that is shifting and thirsting for more depth, more wisdom, more self-connection, more understanding. And for me, my process into wisdom and over the years has been really the willingness to take 100% accountability and responsibility for my life and all aspects of my life. And it's not fun or easy when we look at our patterns or our behaviors that contribute to outcomes or things that we may not necessarily want anymore. But it's part of the human paradigm, you guys. Like, this is how this whole thing's wired. I'm gonna start doing so many more videos of just kind of like breaking it down on the matrix and the energetics of and the subconscious programs and patterns and like how we can shift all of that. But like right now, I'm just talking about being real. Okay, so if you're struggling, I get it. I hear you, I understand. Let's just take a breath. This is just now, okay? The way that I shift things when I'm feeling overwhelmed is, one, to be authentic and transparent, not try to like sugarcoat or pretend everything's fine. Sometimes it's like, nah, man, it just sucks, you know? And just being willing to say that and let it suck just releases the energy, because it just allows it to be what it is in the moment. And when we allow things to be what they are in the moment, the energetic snag that keeps it coming into our awareness finally shifts and releases, right? So it's okay if things suck right now. Like, and then I'll look at like, what's right about this that I'm not seeing, okay? So that's one of the questions I ask myself. I'll also ask myself, has this been here before, right? Because a lot of times we attract people or situations into our lives that are reminders of unhealed trauma or just programs from when we were really young. And a lot of times those can feel really triggering, right? So then usually what society teaches us to do is to be busy and distract, pretend everything is fine, or say, oh, it's your fault, and get all loud and dramatic and then cut and go over here. Well, that's fine. That's one way to do it. But just know that with certainty, you're just going to reattract the exact same situation in a different person. And so knowing that and understanding energetics the way that I do, I'm very much willing to just like dig my heels in and be like, oh my God, sucks. But why is it here in my life? What is this here to show me? How am I participating in this? How am I co-creating this? Like, what is this for me? And I have personally found that each layer and level, each time that I do that, there's an invitation into more of my own wisdom. There's an invitation into more, it's just more of a harmonious resonance within myself, whereas like it's less about having to strive or do or project or be, and like as just instead just being more like it's all of it. Sometimes we're strong, sometimes we're producing and achieving and striving, and sometimes we're just a hot mess, and it's okay to be a hot mess. And if we can let ourselves be hot messes, and if we can let ourselves be not okay for just a second, then there's wisdom in there, there's medicine in there, there's something for the soul in there, at least in the way that I've operated. So I went through another layer looking at the core, got down to the very, very root of my father wound, which to me is, oh, that's the money, man. Now we're talking, like getting down to the actual roots of core trauma is what people pay thousands of dollars in therapy for. And it's not fun being triggered down into those spaces, but if we stay open, right, and kind of like be clumsy and crying or whatever we need to do to kind of get down in there and navigate through, then we realize that it's a program, and that the program is deeply subconscious, embedded within our cellular tissue, projecting into our everyday reality, creating 95% of our everyday experience, thus reattracting the same scenario over and over and over again until we finally get down into the epicenter of it and realize, oh, okay, it can be different. Hallelujah. I love it. I love this stuff. It's just incredible, the human paradigm. So all of it's okay. And, to the people who are like, well, just change the program. You don't have to do that. That's one school of thought. And I have yet to see it actually work in a sustained, like where the cellular vibration holds for like years. People might do some topical reprogramming and without feeling through the emotional responses. But think of it like a garden. You got to kind of like till the soil and pull out the weeds and the roots, and those are the emotional blocks and the trauma that stays in the body. And the only way out is through with those, as far as I've been able to tell. So it's amazing. This whole life is amazing. If you're having a hard time right now, again, it's okay. If you're kicking ass and feeling amazing right now, rock on. I love that for you too. Everything just is, you guys. This is a human experience. We think it's forever. It's like the biggest thing in the whole world, but really we're here for just like a blip. And I've seen enough death to really resonates what really matters, so you're not taking the money and the cars and the control, and none of that's going with you when you disembody. And so again, permission to be vulnerable, permission to be human, permission to be sloppy and messy, doing the best you can, and bringing it back to today, because that's really all any of us have is today. So thank you for this, listening to my musings for today. So many amazing things coming up, but I just wanted to really address like my own humanity, part of my process. I really want to start being more open with how I have navigated the pretty incredible amount of trauma I've had in this life, and past addictive patterns, and how I've been able to integrate that and like thrive beyond it, because I really believe that you're your own greatest teacher and healer. And I really believe that you have all of the tools within you that you need to heal and to thrive and to create an incredible life. And most people want that, they just don't know how. And so I'm just going to pull everything out from what I've done over the years and share that with you guys. And we're stronger together. I adore you. I love you. You're amazing. And I look forward to connecting further.